Is it all? Are you able to hear?
Yes,
Okay.
Guruji.
Start with prayers. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshuhu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrachatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Okay. So we will be discussing from chapter 15 today. Last time we completed chapter 14. And we have to start this chapter. So chapter 13 and 14, as such, we saw in the 13th chapter onwards, the discussion is about the Jnana Yoga. And the chapter 13 and 14 specifically have described till now about this Jnana Yoga, specifically about the three modes was discussed in 14th chapter. So there it was discussed how three modes bind a jiva, what are the characteristics of sattva-guna, rajoguna, tamoguna, and how one can come out was discussed in that chapter. And last two verses of 14th chapter were very important. So there it was described how one can attain actually Brahman or attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, that was mentioned. Okay. So there it was Mamchaya Avebhicharena and how Bhakti Yogena Sevate. Sa Gunan Samtit, he will become Atit, he will transcend. Sagunan Samtiteta Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. That was described. And then Krishna also said that Krishna that I am the source of that Brahman and I am the foundation. Brahmano hi pratishtha aham. Amritatvaya kalpate. So he told that I am the one who is establishing this Brahman. And now in this chapter now, Krishna will be answering that how one can actually transcend this material world by detaching oneself from this material world. Okay, and what is the context of this chapter will be described by Prabhupada in the beginning. So this chapter is very famous also outside. It's called Purushottam Yoga because at the end, the last two verses, Krishna will describe about why this is called Purushottam Yoga and how by worshipping this Purushottam or Krishna, one can actually be detached from this material world and go to spiritual world. That will be told. So Prabhupada has titled this chapter as the Yoga of the Supreme Person. That is Purushottam is the Supreme Person. And yoga, as we know, in the Sanskrit parlance, it is about connecting with something. Okay. So here it is connecting with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So by connecting with Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can actually go beyond this material world and go to the spiritual world. Okay. So let's start this chapter. So the first section is becoming detached from this material world. So for that, we have to understand what is this material world. And this is explained nicely here with the analogy of a tree. Okay, so this is called the Ashwatha tree. Prabhupada has translated it as banyan tree. So this is the first section from verse number 1 to 5. Okay, let's discuss this. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Urdhvamulam adhah shakham ashwatham prahur avyayam chandamsi yasya paranani yastam veda savedavit. Okay. Amit Prabhu, would you like to read? No, it's not audible. Okay, maybe somebody else can read as of now. Gayatri Mataji, you want to read?
Is it better or no?
Now it's audible. Yeah. Can you try?
Okay. Looks like my headset is not picking up only for Zoom. Sorry about that. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, it is said, Prahuta, Prahu,
Prahu.
that
Yeah.
Prahu, that there is an imperishable Avyayam banyan tree, Ashwatham, that has its roots upwards, Urdhva Moolam, and its branches down, Adhashakam, whose leaves, Yasya Parnani, are the Vedic hymns, Chandamsi, one who here knows Veda. This tree, Tam, is the knower of the Vedas, Sa Vedaita.
Yeah. Thank you. So now Krishna is speaking to describe about this material world with the analogy of the banyan tree. Okay. So this is the analogy of the banyan tree, and the details will also come in the next verse and third and fourth verses. Okay. So here, as Krishna is saying, that it is said, Prahu, Krishna is quoting, that there is an imperishable. So the word in Sanskrit is avyayam. Okay. Where vaya, vyayam is to expend something or to diminish something. Avyayam means that which is not diminished. Okay. Which is not perished. That is imperishable. Avyayam. Okay. And what is that avyayam? That is a banyan tree. Okay. So Ashwatham is generally, if you see, technically it is the people tree. Okay. And Vata Vriksha is actually the banyan tree. But in the humongous nature, the basically the very Vishal, it is Vishal, that word also will come ahead. Okay, very large. Okay. So for that sake, both banyan tree and people tree have the similar nature. Okay. So Prabhupada has translated it as banyan tree anyhow. So Ashwatham, okay. And what is the kind of Ashwatha it is? It is upward down. Okay. Urdhva Moolam. That means upwards is its roots. Okay. Why the roots are upwards? So here if we have the actual tree and there is a surface of water, then we can have the reflection of that tree in the water. Okay. So we have some reflection of this tree in the water. Okay. So here we will see what are the different parts of this analogy. But as of now, here it said that the roots are here. So the roots are upwards. Okay. So the roots are going up, basically. Okay. The roots are upwards. And its branches, adha shakham. Its branches, whichever branches are there here, they are all going downwards, like that. And whose leaves? Yes, paranani. Okay, paranani is the leaves. Sakha, we know, is always the branch. Paranani, the leaves, the various leaves which are there here, okay, are the Vedic hymns. So the leaves are the Vedic hymns. And specifically the Karma Kandiya section, by which one can actually get uh, enjoyment. Okay, that will be described. Okay. So the leaves are the Vedic hymns, Chandamsi. And who, yah Veda tam, one who knows this tree is knower of the Vedas. Sa Vedavit. He will be the knower of the Vedas. So that is the meaning of this shloka. Okay, so let's see what Prabhupada writes in the purport. Yes, Prabhuji, please continue.
After the discussion of the importance of Bhakti Yoga, one may question, what about Vedas? It is explained in this chapter that the purpose of Vedic study is to understand Krishna. Therefore, one who is in Krishna consciousness, who is engaged in devotional service, already knows the Vedas. The entanglement of this material world is compared here to a banyan tree. For one who is engaged in fruitive activities, there is no end to the banyan tree.
Yeah, so Prabhupada, actually I started explaining this verse from a very particular verse. Okay, so that verse Prabhupada is quoting from this chapter. So can anybody tell which is this verse which Prabhupada is quoting here from this chapter? Very famous verse.
Veda Videvacha.
Yes, yes. So he is saying that among all the Vedas, I am to be known. Okay, and one who knows me knows everything. Not literally, he knows everything, but in essence, he knows. Okay. So that is, I think, 15th shloka. Yeah, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto. Yeah, 15th shloka. So Prabhupada is quoting that verse as the very foundation of this chapter, actually. That this whole chapter is geared or its goal is towards explaining this 15th verse, actually. There are obviously three important verses which Vishwanath Chakra Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan say that is most important. One is the 15.3 where it is mentioned about this Chandamsi. Okay. And then about 15.8 also, and 15:15 obviously. Yeah. So these three verses, actually, they have said that these are very important verses. And here, Prabhupada is saying 15.15 in the beginning. So therefore, one who is in Krishna consciousness, who is engaged in devotional service, already knows the Vedas. So this does not mean literally he knows all the four Vedas. Okay. Atharvaveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, all these things he doesn't know literally, but he knows the essence. Okay. In essence, he knows. Okay. He is Veda with in essence. Okay. He may not be able to recite all the hymns, all the chandas, all the things which are mentioned in the Vedas, but he knows the essence of it, like that. Okay. So the entanglement of this material world is compared here into a banyan tree. Okay, this is Ashwatha. Yeah. And for one who is engaged in fruitive activities, there is no end to this banyan tree. So where is this fruitive activities mentioned in this verse? Can you check? Where is it mentioned in the verse, fruitive activities? I described it while saying these leaves, which are the Vedic hymns, these are the Karma Kandiya section, which are attractive. Okay. So these are what Prabhupada is referring to when he's seeing these fruitive activities. Okay. These are the leaves. Okay. And there is no end to this banyan tree. So where is this mentioned? There is no end to this tree in the verse. Which word is saying that there is no end to this? Yeah,
Avyayam.
not audible properly.
Avyayam, Prabhuji.
Avyayam, correct. Okay. Okay. Avyayam, correct. It is imperishable. There is no end to this. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, continue.
He wanders from one branch to another, to another, to another. The tree of this material world has no end. And for one who is attached to this tree, there is no possibility of liberation. The Vedic hymn meant for elevating oneself are called the leaves of this tree. This tree's roots grow upward because
Not audible to me. Are others able to hear?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. Somebody else can read. You can read, Pro, Himanshu.
Uh, trees' roots grow upward because they begin from where Brahma is located, the topmost planet of this universe. If one can understand this indestructible tree of illusion, then one can get out of it.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is telling one very simple point that the essence of this chapter, how to get out of this material world, is just based on this uh, one point that one has to just have the understanding. What understanding? Of this indestructible avyayam. Okay. Okay. This avyayam ashwatha tree, which is made up of illusion. Okay. So that is what is the main point here Prabhupada is saying that, and this will come later also in this chapter, that one who understands this tree actually can come out of this metal world. So here another very important point Prabhupada has told, that the living entity is wandering from one branch to another. So what are the branches here mentioned in this verse? Okay, it will come ahead. Okay. So here it's not mentioned, there it will come that it's the different
Shakha?
planetary systems. Okay, various planetary systems are the branches of this tree. Okay, different locals. Okay, so
Prabhuji,
highest.
Shakha is mentioned. No?
Yeah. What is it compared to that? That is not
Okay.
mentioned. Yeah,
Okay.
what is it compared to? That will come. Maybe Prabhupada will tell in this part or in the verse it will come next. Yeah. So the branches are various planetary systems, like it may be heavenly planetary system, or it may be the downward, the subterranean, basically planetary systems like that, or earthly planets. So that's why the this world is called samsara. Samsara basically means the origin of that word is sarati iti samsara, that which always keeps moving. The living entities always are in what transition, and that's why the word used here is ashwatha. Okay. So later the I think Baldev Vidyabhushan or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, I think yeah, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that meaning. What is the meaning of ashwa? So means not, shwa means tomorrow. That which will not be there tomorrow. Okay, that is ashwat. Ashwa. That's why the tree is called here as Ashwatha, which will not be there tomorrow. Okay, today it is there. The way in which the metal world is there today, tomorrow it will be transformed in another form. Okay, like that. So, and another meaning also, obviously, it is given that for a devotee, this Ashwatha tree will not exist tomorrow because he is having this understanding and he is practicing devotional service. So, for him, this Ashwatha will not exist. Okay, so because the metal world, one reason I told, is always moving, it is always in transition, it's called Ashwa, not tomorrow. Okay. So that's why the samsara, this word is sarati iti samsara, that which always keeps moving is called samsara. Okay. And it's always in a flux like that. And another, yeah, very important point Prabhupada is saying, the tree of this metal world has no end. Okay. So that's why it's always a kind of process of recycling. So the living entity is manufactured, manufactured in a sense, the body is manufactured, and then it goes through some maintenance phase, then some disease, and then goes through the producing byproducts, and then ultimately dies also. And then again the body is given to living entity. So the recycling process is going on in this material world always. And there is no end to this. Okay. That's why it is imperishable, avyayam. Okay. It came earlier also, previously also Prabhupada told here. There is no end to this. So one who is attached to this tree, there is no possibility of liberation. So this is the important point which I am focusing, is that one is attached to the objects of this metal world, then there is no possibility of liberation. And very famous pastime is there when Prabhupada was asked that what is the one very important thing that one needs to go back to spiritual world. So Prabhupada told that desire. Okay, just the desire to go back to the spiritual world is what is needed. And then one will start going towards the path of liberation actually. So later we will see in this analogy, this water which is there, that is actually compared to the desire. So as soon as one changes his desire, then he starts moving towards the spiritual world. That water will start evaporating, and then the water starts evaporating, then the illusion of this material tree, the downward tree, will also evaporate with time. So that it all starts with the desire to go back to spiritual world, or go or give up the attachment to this material world. So when this attachment goes away, then one can actually go on the path of liberation. And how will this attachment go away? That is mentioned many places, that by the association of sadhu. Okay, that tamo dwaram yoshitam sangi sangam. And then opposite is mentioned, that by associating with those who are attached to the material objects of this world, one will go down or get more attached. But one who is attached to sadhu sangha, he can actually overcome this attachment. And what happens by sadhu sangha is one gets actually the sukriti and shraddha of bhakti. Okay, brahman brahmite kono bhagyavan ji. Okay, so there it's mentioned that how one is transmigrating in the material world, brahmand brahmite. But if he is bhagyavan jiv, then what happens? Guru Krishna prasade pai. By some fortune, if he gets the association of Guru and Krishna's representative, okay, then Bhakti Lata Beej, then he gets the beej or the desire that I should practice bhakti and go back to spiritual world. So there is a turning point, we can say, just like we have a U-turn on the road. So the living entity was very fast going to the other side, but as soon as he is directed in the right path, then he understands and then takes the U-turn and comes back. Okay, so this is how is this point is very important, that the whole attachment to this material world can change by the association of devotee. That's the point. Okay. Yes, Amit, please continue.
The process of extrication should be understood.
Yeah, extrication means basically detachment. Okay, this is detachment. Yeah, continue.
In the previous chapters, it has been explained that there are many processes by which to get out of the material entanglement. And up to the 13th chapter, we have seen that devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the best way. Now, the basic principle of devotional service is detachment from the material activities and attachment to the transcendental service of the Lord. The process of breaking attachment to the material world is discussed in the beginning of this chapter. The root of this material existence grows upward.
Yeah. So this Prabhupada is giving the background now of this chapter. So it has been described in the previous chapter that there are many processes by which to get out of the material world. So Jnana Yoga was described, and previous to that till chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga was also described, correct? And then Prabhupada is saying in the 13th chapter, we have seen devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the best way. Okay. And now the basic principle of devotional service, that is detachment. So detachment is vairagya. So this vairagya automatically is a offshoot actually of bhakti. Okay, jnana and vairagya, both. Knowledge, that which is opposite to avidya, that is vidya, is actually automatically comes. And then also vairagya, detachment from this material world. Okay. Yeah. So the process of breaking this attachment to the material world is discussed in the beginning of this chapter. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, continue.
This means that it begins from the total material substance, from the topmost planet of the universe. From there, the whole universe is expanded, with so many branches representing the various planetary systems. The fruits represent the results of the living entity's activities, namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Now, there is no ready experience in this world of a tree situated with its branches down and its roots upward, but there is such a thing. That tree can be found beside, beside a reservoir of water.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is explaining the various parts of this tree and what are the each parts referring to. So this means that it begins from the total material substance. So this will come in the commentary to this verse of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev, they will say this total material substance actually is the Mahat Tattva, okay, which Prabhupada is saying here as material substance. Okay, that Mahat Tattva is the topmost planet or Satyaloka, where Brahmaji is situated. Okay, so from there the whole universe is expanded actually. Okay, with so many branches. So what are these branches? As I said earlier, it was mentioned by Prabhupada, right? Here that he wanders from one branch to another. So what is that branch? Here he has explained that it is the various planetary systems. Okay, upper planetary system, middle, that is Earth, and the lower planetary system, like that. And what are these fruits? Okay, the fruits, they represent the result of the living entity's activities. So basically, whatever karma he does, that generates into fruits. So adharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Okay, these are the fruits of this tree. Okay. Yeah. So one may not have experienced that how this tree is not visible, but it exists. How one can understand? One can understand that how one is attached to the things of this world. So one is not able to see, but the attachment is perceived. Okay. Yeah, please continue.
We can see that the trees on the bank reflect upon the water with their branches down and roots up. In other words, the tree of this material world is only a reflection of the real tree of the spiritual world. This reflection of the spiritual world is situated on desire, just as a tree's reflection is situated on water. Desire is the cause of things being situated in this reflected material light. One who wants to get out of this material existence must know this tree thoroughly through analytical study. Then he can cut off his relationship with it.
Yeah, so now again more parts of the analogy Prabhupada is saying. So as we discussed earlier, that the tree is reflected upon the water and the water is called here as the desire. Okay, so desire is the cause of the reflection actually. And other thing is just okay. Okay, the fruits came earlier already, right? It was told in the previous slide. Yeah, fruits are the living entities, dharma, kama, moksha, that was told earlier. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, continue.
This tree, being the reflection of the real tree, is an exact replica. Everything is there in the spiritual world. The impersonalists take Brahman to be the root of this material tree. And from the root, according to Sankhya philosophy, come Prakriti, Purusha, then the three gunas, then the five gross elements, Panchamahabhuta, then the 10 senses, Dashendriya, mind, etc. In this way, they divide up the whole material world into 24 elements. If Brahman is the center of all manifestations, then this material world is the manifestation of the center by 180 degrees. And the other 180 degrees constitute the spiritual world.
Yeah. So same thing, Prabhupada, what he told in previous slide also. One who wants to get out of this material world must know this, Vedavit. Okay. Then he can cut off the relationship with this tree. Okay. And then here also he continues that this tree being the reflection of the real tree, what is the real, the spiritual world, is an exact replica. Everything is there in the spiritual world. So just like we have a body here, we have a body in the spiritual world, we will have. And then we have relationships here, we will have there also. Here we have emotions, there also we have emotions, right? So here we have happiness, there also we have happiness. Here we have sorrow, there also is sorrow, but it is in the separation of Krishna, which is also another kind of pleasure, which we may not be able to actually understand now. Okay, so there is both separation and union, both things are there. Okay, so like this, Prabhupada is saying that everything exactly is there. Okay, yeah. So an impersonalist, he is contrasting with that they take the Brahman to be the root of this material tree, and from the root, according to Sankhya philosophy, come Prakriti, Purusha, and then the three gunas, etc. Panch Mahabhut, like this. In this way, they divide up. So they divide up the whole metal world into 24 elements. This we have discussed in the previous chapters. The 13th chapter we discussed how the 6th and 7th shloka, what are the 24 elements we discussed. And if Brahman is the center of all manifestations, so metal world is a manifestation of the center by 180 degrees, and the other 180 degrees constitute a spiritual world. So as we saw previously, yeah, so here we have this part, the spiritual world part, and this is the desire, or the, we can say, the Brahman. Okay, and then below a part is the material world part. Okay, yeah. Yeah, continue.
The material world is the perverted reflection. So the spiritual world must have the same
Variegatedness,
variegatedness,
variety, basically,
variety.
variety. Yeah.
But in reality, the Prakriti is the external energy of Supreme Lord, and the Purusha is the Supreme Lord himself. And that is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Since this manifestation is material, it is temporary. A reflection is temporary, for it is sometimes seen and sometimes not seen. But the origin from where the reflection is reflected is eternal. The material reflection of the real tree has to be cut off.
Yeah. So same thing, Prabhupada is saying that whatever we have here, we have in spiritual also, but it is in reality. Okay. Yeah, why it is temporary? Because today it is there, tomorrow it will not be there, like that. Okay, Ashwatha, like that. Today it is seeing, it's visible today, but tomorrow it won't be there. Okay. But the origin from whence the reflection is reflected is eternal. So both the material world and the spiritual world, both are eternally existing. Yeah, but the transformations are there in the material world. Yeah. Yeah, continue.
When it is said that a person knows the Vedas, it is assumed that he knows how to cut off attachment to this material world. If one knows that process, he actually knows the Vedas. One who is attracted by the ritualistic formulas of the Vedas is attracted by the beautiful green leaves of the tree. He does not exactly know the purpose of the Vedas. The purpose of the Vedas, as disclosed by the personality of God himself, it is to cut down this reflected tree and attain the real tree of the spiritual world.
Yeah, so same thing Prabhupada again saying that one who knows the Vedas, he can actually cut off, okay, the material world. And what actually is cutting off is this attachment to this material world. Okay. So basically, if he has the Sambandha Gyan, that who is Krishna and I am servant of Krishna, if that is there, then one can actually start to overcome the attachments in the material world. He can start building the actual relationship with Krishna. Okay. And that's what is this chapter saying about. Okay. If one knows that process, he actually knows the Vedas, Vedavit, as it was told in this verse. Yeah. Yeah. So the purpose of the Vedas is disclosed by Krishna himself is to cut down this reflected tree. That's why the very meaning of the word Veda is knowledge. Okay. So when one gets this knowledge, then one can actually overcome avidya. Okay. Any questions on what we discussed?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, what is the analogy for roots, Prabhuji? Is it the Mantatva or?
Yeah, now we will see here it's going to come in this purport, first line. Mm, I think Baldev Vidyabhushan mentions this. Yeah, here, yeah. The first point. Yeah. Okay, yeah, please read. Who asked the question?
Yes. Above all planets in Satyaloka lives four-headed Brahma, who is the one root of the tree of the material world, and who is the composed of Mahatattva, the first sprout from the Prakriti.
Yeah.
Urdhva Mula.
Yeah, so the Urdhva Mula, upward root, basically, that is mentioned here, that above all the planets, means above all the material, the middle and lower, and all the upper six also. Okay, there is the topmost is the Satyaloka, where the four-headed Brahma is residing. Okay, and who is one root? Okay, Mula of the tree, of the material world, who is composed of Mahat Tattva. Okay, so generally when we say Lord Brahma's body is made up of buddhi, correct? You must have heard that it's made up of intelligence. So that intelligence actually what is referred to is Mahat Tattva. It is not the intelligence which we have. Okay, that intelligence, as we see many times in the Bhagavad Gita, the word buddhi is exchanged with Mahat Tattva. Okay. So you can see the detail of this in the uh, 7th chapter, where it is mentioned that how Ashtadha, okay, 7th chapter, that verse comes, right? What is that? Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kama, Muni, Buddhi, Revacha. So, Bhinna Prakriti Ashtadha. So, there the Ashtadha is explained by Baldev Vidyabhushan, and also Prabhupada also explains there that this Buddhi is actually equal to Mahat Tattva, which is explained there. So, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Evacha. So, Buddhi there you will see Prabhupada has written as equal to Mahat Tattva. Okay, so actually Brahmaji's body is made up of Buddhi in the sense that it is made up of Mahat Tattva. Okay, so that is the first sprout from Prakriti. Okay, so did you get the answer, bro?
Yes, Suren. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Yeah, anybody else has any question?
Yes, Praj. It was related something to this only.
Yeah.
So Prabhupada is writing that the impersonalists take Brahman to be the root. So like that is a wrong concept that they think.
Not wrong in that sense. See here what is said, we read now. Yeah, four-headed Brahma, who is the one root of the tree of the material world, and who is composed of Mahat Tattva, the first sprout from the Prakriti. So this Prakriti which is mentioned, actually it is, can be said that it is Pradhan, because from Pradhan only Mahat Tattva comes. As we discussed earlier, Pradhan is inactive. We gave the example of we want to make chapati. So we make the first full atta, we have big, volume, and that is taken out little, correct? So that little part is each universe. And then before we even making the big atta chunk, we have the powdered atta, correct? So the powdered basically flour is there that underwent some transformation, then became the big chunk of basically atta, and then it was transformed into small universes. So the dry powder kind of thing, the atta flour which we have, that is like the pradhan, which is inactive, then undergoes transformation, then it becomes Mahat Tattva. That Mahat Tattva is the root. So before that it is in the form of the pradhan basically, and that also sometimes is called as Brahman. Okay. So this pradhan, which is inactive, that is also called Brahman, because everything emanates from there, even this metal worlds, all the things. So that Brahman basically means the Karanodakasha Vishnu is lying in the Karanodaka ocean, and the effulgence of his body is also Brahman. So everything comes from there. So that also can be said. It's not exactly wrong like that.
Okay, so the Prakriti also comes from Brahman. So like that we
Correct.
can get
Correct.
Brahman.
Correct. Yeah.
So
Everything comes from Karnadaksha Vishnu, and his bodily effulgence also is referred as Brahman.
and is there any reason why Prabhupada like specifically bringing that the impersonalist think that the Brahman is the root cause? So impersonalist, why?
Yeah, see, here he has taken from Baldev Vidyabhushan, right? So basically, this chapter actually, later it will come, that verse, And even previous chapter, it second last verse, it ended with Mam choya avabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samtitetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So there Krishna told he will attain Brahman actually. He did not say he will come back to my spiritual world. And other acharyas, they say that actually what here in this chapter is being described, later one verse will come, that na tad bhashyate suryo na sashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tad dhamam paramam mama. That word dham refers also to Brahman. So the yogis or impersonalists, those who go there, okay, they will attain that Brahman actually. So that meaning also will come as we go ahead. So that's why the context of Brahma impersonalist also is there in this chapter. Then one may ask why the impersonalist is practicing bhakti yoga. It was told Mam choya avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. What is the need for them to practice bhakti? No, they are not practicing bhakti like we are doing. They are doing as a part of their sadhana, just like we described earlier. Every yoga, like Gyan Yoga, has a small element of bhakti in it. Ashtanga Yoga is there. It has a small element of bhakti in it, without which it will not be fruitful. So this part of bhakti is being described in that second last verse of 14th chapter. And this will actually give them the result of Brahman. Okay, and obviously before merging into Brahman, they will have to give up this Jnana part and Ashtanga Yoga part because they are made up of Sattva-guna. They have Sattva-guna nature. Only this is Trigunatit. And to enter into Trigunatit Brahman, one has to only go with this component. This component has to be given up. Okay. And Ashtanga Yoga component also will be given up. So these all things are there in background of this word impersonalist actually. Okay. So it's not just one word. It's a whole philosophical root in these two chapters, which you can read more detail in commentaries. I will be sharing the notes, you can read.
Yes, Prabhu. And one more thing, like I think you have already described it, but I'm not able to like summarize it. So the shloka says that one who knows this material world, this Vardhava Mula Sak. So he's a Vedvit. He
Correct.
knows Vedvit, and you also mentioned he knows. It means that he knows in essence.
Right, correct.
And but then Prabhupada started with the verse 15.15 that one who knows Krishna, he knows the Vedas in essence. So like knowing the material world, how can we say that he knows in essence? Like what is the exact meaning of Ved with how is he knowing the Vedas?
No, where the point of knowing material world comes?
Like material world means this Urdhva Mula Sak. I am saying this.
Okay, okay.
Like yes, the Ved. Who knows this, he knows the Vedas. That's what the verse is saying. Yes, tam Vedas.
Okay. Who knows this tree? He knows the Vedas. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the question then you are asking?
My question is, and you said that here
He
knowing
knows in essence.
is
Okay. That.
essence.
Yeah. Correct.
But the essence of the Vedas is like knowing Krishna.
Correct.
What is the like? Then how can we say that by knowing this tree, he knows the essence? Like
No, that is not told. That's what I said. Prabhupada quoted this 15.15 verse. There he is saying that one who knows me, Krishna is saying one who knows me, he knows the Vedas in essence. Okay. Because from the Vedas I am to be known. Okay. And what is this tree? This tree actually is Vedas are its Parnani, its leaves. Okay. So it's not saying that he knows everything in detail about this tree also. Okay. So that Prabhupada will tell in the purport of that verse also. That one doesn't have to know everything detail of this tree. But what Prabhupada told is that if he knows this devotional service, the principle of devotional service, then he can overcome this attachment actually. Okay, not going back to that purport, but there he said that in devotional service, as it was described earlier chapters, he quoted that 13th chapter, it was said in the end that one who practices devotional service can overcome this material world. So like that, in that sense, he's saying. He is not saying in that full detail one has to know this Vedas or something like that. Not in that. So more detail, I think 15th verse when we read, it will come. Okay. Okay, so and devotees can maybe write down what are the different parts of this tree which was mentioned in this verse, and next verse also some things will come. Okay, and then some parts are being mentioned here by the Acharya's commentary. So I have highlighted some part, we will read it. Yes, Amitru, can you read this part?
The branches of the tree are below, composed of devas, gandharvas, kinnaras, asuras, rakshasas, pretas, bhutas, humans, cows, horses, and such beasts, birds, insects, worms, moths, immobile creatures at the bottom in the realms of Swaha, Bhuva, Buloka.
Bhuloka. Yeah. So basically, Prabhupada said in simple terms that these are representative branches are nothing but various planetary systems where all these people are residing. Gandharva Loka, Kinnara Loka, Asura Loka, all these people are residing. Okay. Pitri Loka. Okay. So, and earthly planet, and then downwards. So these were mentioned earlier. So branches are various planetary systems. Yeah, continue.
This Ashwatha tree is the best tree because it lets one fulfill one's goals of Artha, Dharma, Kama, Moksha, and Moksha. But according to the viewpoint of Bhakti, Ashwa means that which will not last till tomorrow, not Shwa tomorrow. Ashwatha therefore means that which is bound to perish. For the non-devotees, however, it appears to be indestructible, avyayam, eternal. Chandranshi refers to the Vedas, which expound karma in such verses as the following.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, all the components of the tree are mentioned. Some more will be mentioned in the next verse. Yeah. And Baldevidya Bhushan, yeah, this part we can read. Yeah.
In the 15th chapter, Krishna explains that detachment is the means of cutting samsara. The jiva is the Lord's amsha, and that he is the Supreme Lord endowed with wonderful qualities. It has been described previously that though the jiva is naturally endowed with 8 qualities and is filled with knowledge and bliss, he associates with the gunas of Prakriti according to his beginningless imprints in the form of karma arranged in that manner by the will of the Lord. His association is of many types.
Yeah, so those 8 qualities were described in the 13th chapter. And then 20 processes of knowledge were also described in the 13th chapter, by attaining which one can actually gain the qualification to attain the knowledge. Yeah, continue.
He overcomes this association by discriminating knowledge, culminating in bhakti to the Lord. Gaining that, the jiva attains his swarupa, takes shelter of the Lord, and remains with the Lord forever in bliss. This has just been stated in the last verse of the last chapter.
Yeah, so till here we saw whatever Prabhupada said was almost similar. Yeah. Yeah. So now some more part of the analogy will come in this verse. Okay. So this is second verse. Adhaschordvam adhaschordvam prashritastasya shakha guna guna pravidha vishaya pravala adhascha mulani अनुसंततानि अनुसंततानि कर्माणि बंधीनि मनुष्य लोके. Yeah, please read. Somebody else can read. Yeah, Gayatri Mataji, could you read?
Yes, Prabhu. The branches, shakha of this tree, tasya, extend Prashtha downward, Adaha and upward, Cha urdhvam, nourished, Pravardha are the 3 modes, gunas of material nature. The twigs, Pravalaha, are the objects of the senses, Vishaya. This tree also has roots going down, Adha Cha Mulani Anusantatani, and these are bound, Anubandhini, to the fruitive actions, this karma of human society, Manushya Loke.
Yeah. So now further part of this tree is being described. So adhascha urdhva. So what is there? Now the root was described earlier. Okay. Adha. Okay. So now urdhva moolam was described, that upwards is the root. So what is there downward? That downward is described now. Okay. So what is there downward? Cha urdhvam, also upward. That which is downward as well as upward. So how it is extended? Parashritaha. Okay, it is extended. What is being extended? Tasya sakhaha. Its branches. Like that. So the branches of this tree, tasya sakha, extend. Okay, parashritaha, downward and upward. Okay. So the tree which we drew earlier, so it has the branches going, okay, on this reflection. So it has the branches going in all directions. Okay, it has some branches going here also. Okay, upwards also. Okay, all the directions, downwards, upwards, every direction it is going. Okay, and how it is being nourished? Guna pravriddha. So guna here refers to the modes. Okay, pravriddha, developed. Okay, so nourished, Prabhupada has translated here. It is nourished by the modes. So the modes are the nourishing agents of these branches. Okay. Of the material nature. Okay, the twigs, pravala. Okay, so what is this pravala? The twigs are the objects of the senses. Okay, vishaya pravala. Okay, so the objects of senses are these twigs. Okay, the tree also has roots going down. Adhacha mulani. So it has secondary roots actually. So which are going down. So here we can say the roots are also going here. Secondary roots are also dropping. Okay, so these secondary roots are there. Yeah. So adhacha mulani anu santatani, and these are bound anubandhini to the fruitive actions karma of manushya loke, of the human society. Okay. Let's read the purport. Yes, Mataji, please read.
The description of the banyan tree is further explained here. Its branches spread in all directions. In the lower parts, there are variegated manifestation of living entities, human beings, animals, horses, cows, dogs, cats, etc. These are situated on the lower part of the branches, whereas on the upper parts are the higher forms of living entities, the demigods, Gandharvas, and many other higher species of life. As a tree is nourished by water, so this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature.
Yeah, so in this now the we can say categorization or the segregation is there. Okay, so in the lower parts there are variegated manifestation of living entities like human beings, animals, horses, basically the lower category. And we understand highest, the topmost is the root, where is the Brahma, that is the topmost living entity of this material world. So, and in between the Brahma and the human beings who are there are higher forms, the demigods, Gandharvas, many others. So, like that. So, here we have, so Brahma situated here at the root of this tree. Okay. And then we have the humans and animals here. And in between part, we have the Gandharvas, higher forms. Gandharvas, etc. Like that is explained. Where it is, yeah. So they are situated on the lower parts of the branches, whereas the upper parts are the higher forms of living entities. Yeah, okay. We read this. Yeah, continue.
Sometimes we find that a tract of land is barren for want of sufficient water, and sometimes a tract is very green. Similarly, where particular modes of material nature are proportionately greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. The twigs of the tree are considered to be the sense objects. By development of the different modes of nature, we develop different senses, and by the senses, we enjoy different varieties of sense objects.
Yeah. So the twigs of the tree, the various senses are there here. Okay. Okay. Sorry, sense objects. Okay. So these are the twigs. Okay. Here was the root. And here are the various branches. Okay. So these are the various upper and lower branches. Okay. Now what all is done till now? Downward and upward branches. This is completed. This we saw. And the three modes are nourishing. It will be explained now in purport. Okay, of the material nature. The twigs, this is covered. Prabhupada told this are the objects of the senses. Okay, sense objects. Okay, this is done. And this tree also has roots going down. And these are bound to fruitive actions of human society. More will come about this. Yeah, continue.
The tips of the branches are the senses, the ears, nose, eyes, etc., which are attached to the enjoyment of different sense objects. The twigs are sound, form, touch, and so on, the sense objects. The subsidiary roots are attachments and aversions, which are byproducts of different varieties of suffering and sense enjoyment. The tendencies toward piety and impiety are considered to develop secondary roots, which spread in all.
Yeah. So now here more details Prabhupada is saying the tips of the branches. Okay. So the tips of the branches are the senses. Eyes, nose, ear, all these five senses. So we can see that these tips of the branches, and there are twigs also which are told sound, form, touch. So these are sense objects. So Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha. So these sense objects have to interact with senses. Then only the byproduct or the products will come. Correct. So here similarly it is told the eyes will interact with something very good to see, ears something good to hear, nose something good to smell. So Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha is everything one by one can be matched with each one of these. So Rasa can be matched with the tongue. Shabda is the sound. Rupa for the eyes. Sparsha for the skin, like that. Gandha for the nose. So for every senses, every sense, there is one sense object particularly there. Means I am saying the category. Okay, in that category there are many varieties. Okay, for touch, many varieties will be there. For taste, many varieties are there. Like 6 types of tastes are there. Correct. So like that, many varieties are there in each sense object also. Okay, and these are compared here to the tips, and the twigs are the sense objects. And then another thing which is said here is okay, the suffering and the tendency towards piety, impiety. Yeah, this is important. What Prabhupada is saying here, the tendency towards pious activities and impious activities will lead one to a particular body, basically. If one does pious activities, one will go a higher planetary system like Swarga and get the body of a demigod or something like that. Correct? Like Gandharva, Kinnara, whatever. So the activity will be what we say deciding where this person is going to go in the next life, basically which branch he is going to go, whether he is going to go to higher branches or lower branches, where he is going to go. That activity or this tendency will decide where he is going to go. Yeah, continue.
The real root is from Brahmaloka, and the other roots are in the human planetary systems. After one enjoys the results of virtuous activities in the upper planetary system, He comes down to this earth and renews his karma or productive activities for promotion. This planet of human beings is considered the field of activities.
Yeah, so this actually line is there in the last line of the verse. So karmani anubandhini manushya loke. So the karma acts only in the human species. The animals, the plants, all these people don't have any karma. Okay. So whatever once they have accrued the karma in human life, good or bad, they are ongoing suffering or enjoying it in the other species of life. Okay. So the karma theory is only applicable to human beings, and that too only in Bharatvarsha. That will be discussed in Bhagavatam 5th canto. That only this Bharatvarsha which is there only this karma factor is there. Even on the Bhumandala there are another 7 oceans are there, and then whatever different spaces of land is there. There the karma theory doesn't work. Only in this Bharatvarsha, that too only on human being, this karma works. Neither in Swargaloka, nor in lower systems, lower planetary system, nor in for other species. Okay. So only for the human species it is there. So that's why it is many times told that it is a junction from where one can decide where he can go next. Okay. Yeah, almost similar thing Baldev Bhushan and Vishwanath Thakur have explained with some more little bit details. Okay. Okay, any question on what we discussed till now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, here that one line came that modes of material nature are where the modes of material nature are proportionality greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. Like, what does
Yeah.
it mean by the quantity word, the word quantity? If the modes of material nature are more in quantity, it
Yeah, here,
produces more.
no? Sometimes we find that a tract of land is barren, okay, and sometimes it is green. Similarly, when where particular modes of metal nature are proportionately greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. Yeah, I think what Prabhupada is saying similar thing, where the higher modes are there, like goodness, there the species of life will be higher. Okay. Where the lower modes are there, the species of life one will take is lower, like that. Okay. So here he is saying where particular modes of metal nature are proportionately greater in quantity. Yeah, so where the goodness is more, sattvagun is more. Okay. So when the goodness is more, he will go to the higher lives, higher branches basically. That's what he means.
One more thing, Prabhuji. Just now you were mentioning about this, that karma does not work in other planets. Bharatvarsha. So one thing came to my mind that many times we hear that devtas also want to come to Bharatvarsha so that they get a chance to perform bhakti. So like bhakti can be performed in other planets, or like one can go, like, why is this mentioned, like
Yeah, bhakti
that?
can be practiced anywhere. Okay. Narayana parasarve na kutaschana na vibhyati swarga apvarga narkeshu apitulyartha darshinaha. So sixth canto, last chapter, almost last verse. It is so he is saying that Narayana para, one who is very devoted to Narayana, sarve, na kutaschana na vibhyati. So he will not be fearful, nor he will be attached to one place or fearful to another place. Okay. Swarga, apavarga, narkeshu, whether it is Swarga loka or apavarga or anything beyond metal world or naraka loka. Apitulya artha darshinaha. He can see the means to practice devotional service. Okay, so that can be practiced everywhere. Okay, bhakti. But some places it's difficult to practice. Some places it is easy to practice based on the level of devotion one has. So even in the people on earth, we can see those who are there with more sense gratification. Like we hear these examples of Manigriv and Nalukuvera. So they were having this pride or mother due to dhan. Okay. So there can be pride due to many other things. But when the pride is there, then due to wealth especially, then it's difficult to practice bhakti. Okay. Similarly, when there is other facilities available or more sense gratification available, sometimes it is difficult for some people. Okay. So like that, demigods are praying. Not that they are not able to practice bhakti at all, but they are not able to do with the amount of sense gratification present there, and they are engaged more in sense gratification because of the availability. And not that they went there by chance or they went by mistake. They wanted to go there only, and they want to be there only. But desire is there that we want to see, we want to practice bhakti nicely, like that. So everybody has desire, but whether they want to act upon it depends on the level of devotion. So if they are said, okay, you want to practice devotion, come, we will go to earthly planet, next birth immediately you should take. They will say, no, we have whatever facilities here, that we are okay, and we will practice whatever level we can here. Okay, so it doesn't mean that everybody expresses then he wants to actually do it immediately. Okay, so in maybe next birth or something they will attain, and at the same time, those who are human beings, they may see the demigods, so they have very nice facility, they may be practicing bhakti, so we can go there and practice. Some human beings can have that kind of desire also, but like that is the contrast actually. So somebody who is more in devotion, he can practice in Swargaloka also, like that. Okay, so we'll go to next verse. न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते न अन्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः परं तत् परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः परश्रिता पुराणी. Somebody else can read. Is Pratikru, you want to read?
Am I audible, Yoshi?
Yeah.
The real form, rupam, of this tree, asya, cannot be perceived, na upalabhyate, in this world, iha tatha. No one can understand where it ends, na antaha, where it begins, na cha adihi, or where its foundation is, na cha sampratishtha. But the determination, dridhena, but with determination, dridhena, one must cut down chitva, this strongly rooted, suviludhamulam, banyan tree, enam ashwatham, with the weapon, shastrena, of detachment, asanga. Therefore, tataha, one must seek parimargitavyam, that place, tatpadam, from which, having one gone, Yasmin Gataha, one never returns, na Nevartanti, and their surrender, Tat Eva Chadyam Purusham Prapadde, to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purusham, from whom Yataha everything begins, Pravartitaha Prasuta Pura.
Yeah, thank you. So here now Krishna is continuing that how one should first describe the tree and all the details about the analogy of the tree, and now he is saying how one should be able to cut this tree. So he is saying the real form, rupam, of this tree, asya, cannot be perceived. Na upalabhyate, one cannot perceive. Okay, this tree, as we saw, that attachment is there in this material world that cannot be perceived. Okay, the material world have this tree structure or these all things cannot be perceived, but the attachment can be perceived. Yeah. So in this world, iha tatha, no one can understand where it ends and where it begins. Okay, na anta, na adi, or where its foundation is. Na cha sam pratishtha, pratishtha means foundation. Yeah. But with determination, dridhena, chitva, one can cut down. Cut down what? This tree. How is it this tree? Suvirudha. Moolam. Its roots are suviruda, very, very strong, strongly rooted. And earlier we saw it has primary root as well as the secondary roots. Okay. Both the types of roots are there. So actually banyan tree doesn't have secondary roots. Basically it is peepal tree or ashwatha tree. Okay, that has the secondary roots. Enam ashwatham. So with the weapon, how one should cut it down? One has to use a weapon, shastrena. What kind of weapon? Asanga shastrena. Okay, detachment. So that is what is the whole core teaching of this chapter. That the detachment is the sword which one has to use to come out of this material world. And how the detachment will come? It will automatically come. No need to practice something separately. But it is offshoot of bhakti. Practice of bhakti, 9 limbs of bhakti, automatically this detachment will come. Jnana and vairagya both will come automatically. Nothing separately has to be done. Okay. Tata parimargitavyam. And once this is done, one should seek that place. So once one is detached, one can seek that place. Which is that place? That tat padam or param padam, as it was told previously. That highest abode, or padam also means Brahman for those who are yogis. Okay, like that. And later also this word padam will come, that one will not return from that place. Okay. Sashanko na pavaka yadgatva na nivartante tad dhamam paramam mama. So this dhama or this abode, one will never return from there, highest abode. Na nivartanti, same thing. Yeah. And there surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. From whom everything begins. Okay. Yeah, continue.
It is now clearly stated that the real form of this banyan tree cannot be understood in this material world. Since the root is upward, the extension of the real tree is at the other end. When entangled with material expansions of the tree, one cannot see how far the tree extends, nor can one see the beginning of this tree. Yet one has to find out the cause. I am the son of my father. My father is son of such and such person, etc.
Yeah. So the root is upwards of this tree of material world. So the extension of the real tree is at the other end. Okay. So obviously the other end is the param padam or the spiritual world. Okay. Having gone where nobody returns, like that. Okay. So real form of this tree, basically the spiritual part, the upwards, which is not in the reflection, which is a real form, it cannot be understood in this material world, but one can understand surely a part of it by bhakti. One can never understand it fully, neither Krishna nor the spiritual world. But how much is needed to go back to that place and practice bhakti, that much is given. That we should be trying to understand. Yeah. So when entangled, generally it's very difficult to actually see that one is entangled, and to come out also oneself, it is difficult. So just like one is tied with the chair or whatever, a prisoner is tied. So he himself cannot actually overcome that entanglement. Somebody has to help him, like that. So who is actually not bound, who is not entangled, can help him. Yeah. So one cannot see also, one cannot get it disentangled also without the help of devotional service. Yeah. Yet one has to find the cause of how he got entangled or how one can come out. Yeah, read.
By searching in this way, one comes to Brahma, who is generated by the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Yeah, so previously Prabhupada is saying that one goes on searching who is the father of the father of the father. Like that one comes to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Yeah.
Finally, in this way, when one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the end of the search for. One has to search out that origin of this tree, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through the association of persons who are in knowledge of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. By understanding, one becomes gradually detached from the false reflection of reality, and by knowledge, one can cut off the connection and actually become situated in the real tree.
Yeah. So same thing what was told in the shloka. one can gradually get detached. So asanga shastrena, asanga also here it was told previously that dridena chitva, with determination one should cut. How will one be able to cut? One when associates, okay, this I told earlier also, association of devotees. One with associates with the people who are in knowledge, okay. And then he's saying gradually one will get detached, okay, from this false reflection of reality, and then become situated in the real tree. Yeah, continue.
The word Ashtanga is very important.
Asanga.
Asanga is very important in this connection because the attachment for sense that enjoyment and lording it over the material nature is very strong. Therefore, one must learn detachment by discussion of spiritual science based on authoritative scriptures, and one must hear from the person who are actually in knowledge. As a result of such discussion in the association of devotees, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then, the first thing one must do is surrender to Him. The description of that place, whence having gone, one never returns to this false reflected tree, is given here.
Yeah, so Parampadam. So that is described here. Prabhupada will say also ahead. So that last two lines of this translation, they speak that. Yeah, so again, Prabhupada is focusing about the association of devotees. One can actually overcome this attachment to the material world. Yeah, continue.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original root from whom everything has emanated. To gain favor of that personality of Godhead, one has only to surrender, and this is the result of performing devotional service by hearing chanting, etc. He is the cause of extension of the material world. This has already been explained by the Lord Himself. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Purport 18 of 10.8. I am the origin of everything. Therefore, to get out of the entanglement of this strong banyan tree of material life, one must surrender to Krishna. As soon as one surrenders unto Krishna, one becomes detached automatically from this material extension.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is explaining here from the last line. Description of that place, whence having gone, one never returns, is given in this verse. Okay, then he explains that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original root from whom everything emanated. For this material world, root is Brahma, but for root of everything is Krishna. Okay, even the root for Brahma is Krishna because he actually is seated on the lotus which is emanating from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Okay, so to gain favor of that personality of Godhead, one has to surrender. And that's why Prabhupada told here, the first thing is one must do is surrender. Okay, so that's why Adav Guru Padashraya. In the beginning, one has to accept the shelter of a Guru. Okay. Yeah. So when one gains such a favor and then he performs devotional service, then one can actually get the result of devotional service, that is going to spiritual world, and having gone there, nobody returns like that. That's what was told in this verse. Okay. So here, as I told earlier, as one surrenders unto Krishna, one becomes detached automatically. So one should not artificially and inorganically try to detach oneself. Oh, somehow I am stuck up in this situation. I have to do a job or I have a family. So artificially, that kind of detachment will not work. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told even Raghunath Das Goswami, that kind of detachment is Markat Vairagya. Okay, so he said that you should be like uh, a lady who has a paramour, who is always thinking about the paramour. So at the same time, he is very dutiful. She is very dutiful in the household duties, like that. So the understanding that for the devotees is that when we are working in the material world, we are sometimes in touch with the material modes. Our duty is to always focus and try to meditate on Krishna. And how what I am doing is connected to Krishna. whether it is maintaining a family, doing a job, or whatever responsibilities Krishna has given, that we are trying to fulfill. So that way one can actually do the yukta vairagya, not trying to do the false renunciation basically. That is artificially one need not do any kind of renunciation, but one has to focus on what that Prabhupada told here, that performing devotional service by hearing, chanting, etc. That has to be done with whatever determination and focus that is needed, and to the best possible way that is to be done. Then automatically this detachment will come. Okay, any questions on what we discussed?
Prabhuji, I have one not exactly related to like this verse, but
Yeah.
related as well. Like here, Krishna is saying that Tamev Chadyam Purusha. So he is using second form, second like Tamev, the second person. He is speaking like that. So many times, like not many times, but sometimes the atheist, we can say, or impersonal, they say that Krishna is different and the supreme personality is different. Krishna is saying Tamev, and but at the same time, sometimes he says Mam, and the first verb he uses. So we see sometimes he uses the second person form. So can you explain that?
Yeah, so Krishna is giving options to everybody, that whatever philosophy you have, everything will be satisfied in this material world. Okay, so if you want, you will be wanting to remain in this material world, that also is satisfied through the Vedas. You can get that understanding. If you think that somebody else is God, because the language of the Vedas and especially Upanishads and the language of especially the Sanskrit words, they have multiple meanings. So even those are impersonalists, those who want to establish Brahman is highest, that also philosophy is based in Vedic science only. And even Mayavadis, those who want to criticize God, that also they can take out from Vedic language. Everything is possible from the Vedic language. That's how it is. Krishna has designed it, and Krishna has brought it out, because those who have their desires in a particular way should not be feel forceful that, oh, why this thing is being told in a particular way only. His desires, whatever is there, he will not be able to fulfill. Those who are wanting to enjoy, they will see the verses according to their desire only, that yes, everything is being told here that I should do enjoyment. So whatever way one approaches the Vedas, that's why it's called desire tree. The Vedas are called the desire tree. You approach with a particular desire, it will give that only. So it will not give something else. He will not tell, no, you came for milk, but milk is not there, curd is only there, take it. It won't be like that. Whatever you approach with, it will give back that. That's why all these words are there in different ways, different forms, so that everybody can feel that yes, what I'm wanting, that is also there, and he can get satisfied with that, try to get satisfied, and then it doesn't fulfill, then ultimately he will want to find out what is highest, like that. So that's why different words are used like that. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Okay. Yeah.
I have a question. Prabhuji, when we see from Prabhupada's preaching time, their grihasthas were also like taking part in a temple, like whatever they are doing, they were totally doing the devotional service only, and they were totally detached. And it was not that with practice they got the detachment. Prabhupada told them to just leave outside world. They left it and they just joined it. So uh, here, when today's era we see in ISKCON, like I feel for grihasthas there is no hope. You have to just work, earn money, and see your kids, see your social status, take care of your japa, and do some seva, whatever your time permits, and that's it. There is like that missionary, what we say, that vision that Prabhupada had for all the devotees. I what I could see, like I can see that this is missing for Grihastha specifically. Like once you are done with the you have done the marriage, now you are doomed. Now you have to do your work and you have to do your all those responsibilities, take care of that. But it's the same grahasthas, when it was time of Prabhupada, they had their family, but whole of their family was serving Krishna only, like in the temple only, and everything was taken care by them only. So why this wide gap is there? Like even here also in the last statement, automatically that detachment will come.
Yeah.
But what after that? Detachment came, but now what? For Grahastha, it is you just live with that detachment. So like it feels like a very hopeless situation right now for a Grahastha. So how to understand that, and how to like take that, like we are going in the right direction, or we are following Prabhupada, what Prabhupada used to say. So is it that we have diverted totally, or we are still somewhere where Prabhupada has given us, like we have some hope? We are
Yeah, you
doing.
can ask Prabhupada only. How will I tell that what Prabhupada is thinking about us? Correct, no? I actually gave this answer already. I'll just show that verse and then we can tell what is the answer. Mm. 10th canto, yeah. We showed you the 10th canto, 14th chapter. Yeah, please read this translation.
My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain food shackles.
Yeah, what is the meaning?
Until people become your devotees. So until we have, like we are right now sadhakas, so until
Sadhaka,
we have
yeah,
become a
sadhaka.
pure
I mean,
devotee.
first we have to
Even
clarify. Sadhaka are devotees or they're half
it is calling
devotees?
about pure devotees, and they are talking about
Achha,
in
where it is
this.
written, pure devotee? Pure devotee don't have family, right?
Vidura had family.
I'm asking,
Also
that's
pure
what.
devotee.
Yeah. So where it is written in this verse, pure devotees? Okay, let's go to the Sanskrit. You are seeing somewhere, pure devotee. Tavad ragadayastena Tavad kara griham Tavad moho angri nigado Yavat Krishna nate janaha. Until unless they are your devotees, any person like that, Prabhupada is translated. Your devotees. Okay. Okay, maybe we can read purport. Pure devotee will come there. Okay. Yes. Read. Okay. What else? From here.
Their material attachment and desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain food shackles.
Yeah. So yeah. So what is the meaning of these three? You can tell. Metal attachments. They remain thieves. Yeah. So basically, yeah, what you told, if they have metal attachments, they will remain thief. So now this part you have to explain how a devotee has metal attachments. This means they have metal attachments. So this is pure devotee.
It's not a pure devotee.
Okay.
It's for us
So,
only.
okay. So for not pure devotees, so they have metal attachments. Okay. Next part. And do they have the homes? Okay. Let's say pure devotee already told Vidura has home, but okay. Okay. Those who are not explained in this verse, they have homes also, right? They don't stay only in temple. Or temple only, home is told here. Okay, next. And they have affectionate feelings. For whom? Those who are staying in temple or those who are staying in home?
Family members only. Yes.
Okay, only for mother, father or children or which family? Okay, detail
Yes,
maybe you can
for
read in.
everyone.
For
Yes.
everyone. Okay, ठीक है. So if they are not devotee, then these all relationship becomes what?
Food shackles. Food
Wood
shackles.
shackles. Yeah. So surely it is not for pure devotees in my understanding. They are for those who are practicing only. But they are told as what is the word? Te janah. They are your devotee or your people, basically your people, literally. Yeah. So basically, when we are saying this point that in Prabhupada times we had this more dedication and this everybody was serving only. He was only basically not having any material engagement, na? That's
Yeah.
what.
Directly engage, directly serving
Yeah.
in the temple or
Yeah. Yeah.
preaching it.
So yeah, correct. Yeah. So that's what. That is actually not right understanding. That's what I think, because not everybody in temple is directly serving Krishna. Okay, there are people in temple also, those who are serving their own material desires also, their own personal agenda also. And we see many times there are some scams in the temple, so many crores or lakhs of money is looted. So there are many, and not to take any names, but there are many things which happen. Some temple president who is maybe brahmachari, grihastha, sannyasi, anybody, there is always some mishap that is also seen. So this may not be a proper understanding that everybody in temple is already a devotee who is not having any material attachment. That may not be exactly right. Okay, that has to be evaluated. And that is also not true on the other side, that everybody who is in family and grihastha is not having a spiritual motive. Okay, we cannot see the external only and tell that it is like this. They are having material motives. Somebody might have become a devotee after coming into family life. That possibility is there, no? But at the same time, if we have the example of Prabhupada, so did Prabhupada spend his life in Grihastha life or not? What do you think? Did he
Yes,
have
he did.
family? He did,
Yes.
okay. And many devotees we see, many Mahajans also, they have family. And so having a family, we cannot say anybody that they have material attachment. That would not be good. But we have to see what perspective they have of the family, whether they see them in spiritual connection or they see in the connection of enjoyment. That we have to see. So that is more important. So anybody staying in temple also, what relationship they feel they have with the objects they carry, whether it is money, whether they have any asset. So if they have that spiritual perspective, then they are actually engaging it in devotional service, and that is a path to progress. But if they have a material outlook of spiritual objects, even in temple, then that has not the same effect. So that's why when devotional service is described many times, it's about the mentality. It's not about the external object and external post, position, all these things. So that's what I think. So when we compare with Prabhupada times, actually that was a different time. And now there are devotees who are his disciples only. They are only directing the society. And surely they know better than us how Prabhupada wanted this society to be, like that. And many of them are grihasthas also. And not everybody of them who are staying in temple at that time, many are there now. They are not staying in temple now. Okay, not because Prabhupada is not there, but because they understand the maturity of time, place, and circumstance, what is most important for them. So many times I gave this example. Prahlad Maharaj, he did not take up to Vanprastha ashram, not even sannyas ashram, even though he only explained in 4 chapters this fourth ashramas actually in seventh canto. But he never took to other ashrams. Why? Because he felt Grihastha ashram is most favorable. That's why. So yeah, being in Grihastha ashram, we have to try our best. Being as a brahmachari, vanprastha, sannyasi, everybody has to try their best. So that's what I think. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go to the next verse. Fifth verse, okay. This is last verse I think we will do. Then tomorrow we'll do next section. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha Dvandairmumukta sukha dukkha samye gacchantya mudha paramavyayam tat. Somebody else can read. Isha Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Roji. Purport वाचायचं. Those who are free from the false prestige, nirmana, illusion, moha, and false association, jitasanga doshaha, who understand the eternal adhyatma nityaha, who are done with material lust, vinivritta kamaha, who are freed from the dualities, dvandvaiva mukta, of happiness and distress, sukha dukkha
Samge.
sukha dukkha saudne, and who unbewildered, amudha, who know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain gachanti, to that eternal kingdom, tat avyam padam.
Yeah, thank you. So now here Krishna is speaking about the last part of this section, that how one can actually attain this padam avyayam. Okay, this is also imperishable, like this tree, metal world tree, or the metal world is also eternal in the sense that it transforms, but the concept is always there. The metal nature is always there, existing. So how one can be a mudha? Okay, means mudha is fool. A mudha is who is intelligent. Okay, who is intelligent will go gachanti, where padam avyayam. Okay, he will go to this avyay pada, this spiritual world. Okay, what are the qualifications? Here is nirmana. Okay, so free of the false prestige, and then free of illusion, moha. So each word Prabhupada will explain in the purport. And jita sanga dosha, all the faults which are generated by bad association, he is free of these things. And then fourth, he understands the eternal adhyatma nityaha. And fifth, he doesn't have any material lust, basically the tendency to enjoy sense gratification. Okay, like that. The material lust, vinivrit kama. Kama means, generally it means desire. Okay, the any desire which has a what we say, perspective of enjoying outside Krishna consciousness, like that. Okay. And then sixth, who are freed from dualities, dvanda vimuktaha, of happiness, distress, and who unbewildered, amudaha, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain that eternal kingdom. Okay. So who are without bewilderment. Okay, they are able to go to the spiritual world. So we'll see what Prabhupada explains about each term. Yeah, please read.
Yes, Prabhuji. The surrendering process is described here very nicely. The first qualification is that one should not be deluded by pride, because the conditioned soul is puffed up, thinking himself the lord of material nature. It is very difficult for him to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should know by the cultivation of real knowledge that he is not Lord of material nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Lord. When one is free from delusion caused by pride, he can begin the process of surrender. For one who is always expecting some honor in this material world, it is not possible to surrender to the Supreme Person.
Yeah. So now he is explaining every word one by one. So surrendering process that is told here, that yeah, actually previous purport also Prabhupada told about the process of surrendering is the first when one comes into devotional service. And then here he is saying that know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person. Okay, how one learns how to surrender is in association of devotees who are bona fide devotees, as Prabhupada told in the previous purports. The associating with those who are actually in knowledge. The first qualification, he is saying that he is not deluded by pride. Okay, nirmana. Okay, false prestige. That should not be there. Okay, so what is that false prestige or the pride, false pride? So he is saying because the conditioned soul is puffed up. This is the false pride. What is his pride? Thinking himself to be the lord of the material nature. Okay, that he is a controller. Then it becomes very difficult for him to surrender. The first step only will not happen then. When he thinks that I am highest, I am greatest, then he will not surrender. Okay. So one should know by cultivation of real knowledge that he is not lord of material knowledge, material nature. Okay. So one can do this very easily by associating with devotees. Yeah. So when one is free from delusion caused by this pride, false pride, he can begin the process of surrender. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, continue.
Yes, Prabhuji. Pride is due to illusion, for although one comes here, stays for a brief time, and then goes away, he has the foolish notion that he is the lord of the world. Thus, he makes all things complicated, and always he is in trouble. The whole world moves under this impression. People are considering the land, this earth, to belong to human society, and they have divided the land under the false impression that they are the proprietors. One has to get out of this false notion that human society is the proprietor of this world.
Yeah. So he is explaining now the false pride or the false prestige and the illusion which is there. Okay, moha. So that is the impression. What is the impression? That this land is mine or this property is mine. Okay, these belongings are mine. It may be obviously under one's care, but one should not think that I am the whole and sole proprietor of this. Okay, should be engaged as its function is like that. Yeah, please read.
Yes, Prabhuji. When one is freed from such a false notion, he becomes free from all the false associations caused by familial, social, and national affections. These faulty associations bind one to this material world. After this stage, one has to develop spiritual knowledge. One has to cultivate knowledge of what is actually his own and what is actually not his own. And when one has an understanding of things as they are, he becomes free from all dual conceptions such as happiness and distress, pleasure and pain. He becomes full in knowledge, then it is possible for him to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah. So this is Nirmana Moha and Jita Sanga Dosha. Okay. So Jita Sanga Dosha that he is explaining. Okay, the faulty associations. Okay, binds one to the metal world and then surrender, he will not be able to do. Okay, so little bit one is taking association of devotees and little he is taking also the association of metalists. Association of metalists does not mean interacting with them. Association means that which is explained in NY verse 4. That dadati pratigrinati guhyamakyate prichati bhunkte bhojayate cheva. So that priti lakshana one should not show with the people of the materialistic mindset. Okay, one is going to office or one is dealing with the people of this metal world. Okay, even in preaching, we have to preach to whom? Those who are materialist only. Na? So we have to actually not associate with them in the sense that we should not buy their ideology. Okay, so they will be telling, oh, this sanctification is very nice, this way enjoyment is very nice, that way enjoyment is very nice. But we should be understanding that no, that is not what is our path. That is Jita Sangha Dosha. So one has to cultivate knowledge of what actually is his own and what actually is not his own. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll pause here and then tomorrow continue with the next section, 6 to 11. Any questions on what we discussed in this verse till now?
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
so in the first shloka itself, it said that no desire is the cause,
Yeah.
right? And we need to cut off that root there itself. So
Hmm.
killing the desires is not possible.
Hmm.
Is it an automated process that as we start doing bhakti, desires will automatically, materialistic desires will automatically go down? Is that
Yeah,
correct
yeah.
understanding?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, it is automatic process. I will actually we discussed this in the 8 to 12 section of 13th chapter, where Prabhupada also told that actually the most important part of this whole process of knowledge is uh, surrendering to Krishna. That one quality is very important. And there is a Bhagavatam verse also, I will show as proof. That is a Praman. Okay. Maybe first canto. And maybe later you can read the purport. There are many verses actually which show that Bhakti Samrit Sindhu has 2-3 verses. One I will show from there also. That automatically Vairagya comes in a person. Okay.
If you're desiring for new home,
New?
desiring new home, let's say,
Yeah.
new job, does that mean that no, our bhakti is not, we are not maturing? And is that correct?
No, we have to see. That's what I told to answer to Mataji's question. We have to see the motive of the desire, not the desire itself. Okay. By seeing externals like now, as we were discussing, Vidura also had a home, and the devotees who were actually even Prabhupada also, and those who have been previous Mahajans also, and current times also. So they have their material belongings, homes, wife, children, everything is there. But just by seeing these externals, one cannot know that whether what is his mentality towards these things. Okay. And even the person who does not have these things, what is his mindset? Whether he is wanting to hidingly enjoy these things. There is this verse in the 6th chapter of, no, not 6th chapter, 3rd chapter, yeah, the Bhagavad Gita, where it says that he is actually a person who is actually uh, externally showing to be renounced, but internally trying to enjoy. He is actually a cheating person. Okay. So that also is possible, one who is a person who is in the renounce order. Okay. And it's also possible for a person who is in the grihastha life also. So it's possible anywhere. So that mentality is there. One cannot see it by the external objects and by external surrounding. Okay. So the desire for having a new car or desire for having a new home, these all things can be legitimate. It also can be for one's own enjoyment, or it can be mixed also. Okay.
Right.
And for those who are practicing devotees, generally it will be mixed. Okay. Because we have not yet overcome fully, anartha nivritti fully has not happened. So it will be what we say, not appropriate to expect such a person to behave like those who are examples of pure devotional service like Bhagavatam completely. Now one cannot say, okay, why we were not determined like Dhruv Maharaj at the age of 5. It cannot be. His level of devotion is very different. Then some devotees say, oh, Parikshit Maharaj never desired to eat any food or water during 7 days. Even when we are hearing 1 hour, we are desiring a cup khatam hoga class when we will drink water. So no, not like that. Bhakti Swami Sindhu says that the devotion of Parikshit Maharaj was at the level of rag. Where is the level of rag? Prema is there, which is 9th stage we know. Then there is sneha. Then there is man. Then there is pranaya. Then there is rag. Then anurag. Then bhav. Then mahabhav. Like these stages are there after prema. So he was not at the stage of prema. He was at the stage of rag. And if we just take his example and speak that, oh, we are so attached. No, it is our bodily need. Okay. At our level of anartha also, generally it will be mixed desire actually. Okay. And generally with the devotees will be having a kind of, those who are actually practicing devotional service purely, they will actually be having a this kind of thing that, oh, I am having such bad desires. When will I give up these desires? not to enjoy such desires. So those things will not be there in those who are practitioners of pure devotional service. Those who are not practitioners, they will have desires. Genuinely, they will be wanting to enjoy this kind of desires, through these desires, through a new home, a very luxurious car, or many whatever ways. Everybody has different things to enjoy, he wants to enjoy. So different ways he will be having. So like that it will be there. So actually last time when we played the recording, so this topic was only discussed, that what is the perspective of a devotee who is looking at sense object. He thinks that yes, I have desires to enjoy it, but I want to give it up ultimately. That is his goal. That is Abhilasha. But other person who is practicing bhakti in modes, 3 modes, Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamogun, he'll have desire to actually fulfill those kind of desires. Like those who are practicing bhakti in Sattvagun, they will have desire to practice bhakti to get liberation. Those who are in Rajagun, they will have practice bhakti for the goal of not attaining prema, but to enjoy some sense object. Or those who are in Tamoguna, they will be practicing it to kill somebody else. Like that. Those desires they will have as a goal. But as practicing devotees, if we don't have those desires as goal, that by bhakti I want to attain this only, this kind of enjoyment or this kind of goal, then our bhakti is not in the modes. Then it is beyond the modes, because our desire is not, or the goal is not that. Our goal is Krishna Prem, and we want to have this perspective that yes, I want to give up this desire one day. Then anartha nivritti will happen. If we have the desire, though, no, I don't want to give it up, I want to keep on enjoying it, then anartha nivritti will not happen. Then it will not be considered as anartha only. Then how anartha nivritti will happen? Okay, so it will be considered as part of Abhilasha, and that will be fulfilled ultimately in bhakti. One will be given such kind of enjoyment in next life, or in Swarga, or even in spiritual world, those kind of enjoyments are available. One can get. So like this, one has to understand. So the original question which you were asking, whether it will happen automatically, the detachment will come automatically, in the sense, not that I just don't do any endeavor. No, one has to do endeavor in bhakti of associating with devotees and practicing 9 limbs. Then automatically it happens. Not that I just keep enjoying and automatically it will happen. Prabhuji said, anyhow, I just keep doing somehow chanting, no problem. Whether I do with focus or not, no problem. Not like that. So whatever limbs one is there of bhakti, one does it seriously, then automatically it will happen. There is no separate endeavor required. That's what is told in Bhakti Sam Sindhu. That separately Gyan and Vairagya need not to be cultivated. Okay, how will I get more knowledge about Krishna? Surely one has to read the bhakti books. That is a limb of bhakti. Okay, Shravanam, hearing or reading, even Prabhupada books is Shravanam. So these has to be done sincerely. Then one will actually be able to gain that Vairagya and Jnana. So that's what is told. Not that automatically means I just sleep and don't do endeavor. Not like that. That is not right. I don't know if it answers some part of your question.
Prabhuji. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so
Thank you so
we
much,
cannot
Prabhuji.
just see the external and judge anything. One thing we can surely see is what our desires are, that nobody else can know.
Correct.
100%. We can only know what is our actual desire. Whether I want to fulfill that sense gratification even after practicing bhakti, or I want to ultimately give it up. I may want to enjoy now so that I can ultimately give it up. That also is there. Okay. So one has to do it under the guidance of one's spiritual master, and like that. So it should be done as per the guidance, and the sincerity in bhakti is there, then all these things will not be there for a long time. Very soon, these all things will be gone. I am not saying this, I can show many verses where it says that very soon it will happen. And not only that, it is said that even before one starts practicing bhakti, one is liberated. It is told like that. Bhavapavargo bhramata yada bhavet janasya moho tarhi achyut satsmagama. As soon as one comes in contact with devotee, he is liberated. Why? Because the result is so quick. It is told even before the process starts, he is liberated. The result is so quick. So like these things are there. So when we study Bhaktivedanta Sindhu, many things like this will be clear. Yeah.
Right.
And part of it was discussed in the previous session. Actually, recording was played. So if you want, you can ask Pratikru. He'll send the recording link.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other question anybody has on what we discussed today?
Prabhuji, in the second verse, it's mentioned about this planet of human being is considered the field of activities, the last line of the purport. But what about animals, Prabhuji?
Yeah, as we discussed, they are not incurring karma. There is no good and bad karma for them. That is the meaning. They will do activity, but karma will not be there. Bad and good result will not be there.
Just keen to understand, like, what about their promotion?
Yeah, see, they have this 84 like species, no? They will be undergoing this cycle. When they come to human being, again chance will be given. Then again, this cycle will continue. So now it is just under mechanical system. Now nothing can happen. Unless they come into association of very powerful devotee and they just get some bhakti sukriti, then they can suddenly go to human life also. That is possible.
Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else have any question? Okay. Then we
Krishna,
pause here.
Roji, yeah, for
Yeah.
last recordings, Dayami Dekhi Mataji has sent a few questions. Maybe
yeah.
maybe this time or tomorrow whenever you.
Yeah, I have not read the question also. I will read and then maybe if Mataji wants, she can ask tomorrow, and then we can answer. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna. So tomorrow we'll meet again.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guruji, Dhamma Pranam.